Bold stories, cinematic vision. What's your medium? An art canvas, music, the open road. Who defines how stories are told? Writing, photos, rhythm, movement. This is where dreams and visions collide. This is legacy built through vision.
Take a little sip of my water real quick, man. Let's get into this, man. Mic check. Mic check, 1, 2. Ladies and gentlemen, you already know what this is. You know the vibes. Or at least they better act like they know what it is, man. You better act like you do. Huh? Shit. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people all over the world, this is the House of NIXON web series, and I go by the name of NIXON. I am your humble and grateful host, and I thank you because you could be anywhere in the world tonight, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that. No, really, I do. I ain't gonna lie. It's been a while. It's been a hot minute, man. This is the first episode of 2026. We've been busy. Man. The holidays, New Year's, man, it's already the third week or the fourth week of January. And yeah, man, I've just been busy. As y'all can see. As y'all can see, listen, make sure y'all keep this date in mind. All right. February 3rd, 2026. It's around the corner. All right. It's around the corner. You got to go cop it. The Everborn Chronicles, Book 1, The Everborn. You got to go get it, man. Yeah, listen, we got the new setup. The MacBook is now doing the reactions or whatever. How does this work? Something like that. I don't know. But listen, how's everybody doing, man? Huh? How was your Christmas? Or the Thompson, he bring y'all anything good? What about New Year's? How's New Year's been treating y'all? How many of y'all already fell off of your New Year's resolutions? Man, I'm playing with y'all. I'm playing. Listen, but we got to keep it funky though. We don't do New Year's resolutions anymore. We're too old for that, and y'all already know it's the same story every year. So there's no point in setting New Year's resolutions. Real ones just keep building. We just keep stacking wins on top of wins. For me personally, nothing's changed during, the year. It was pretty much anyone who's been following this journey, y'all know that I've been super intentional. So when the new year came, it was just another day for me. That was it. And in fact, I already had everything so meticulously lined up that I had small things, they're not small, but like bills. I already had bills for January already paid before the 1st. And we already started having these milestones and goals that we needed for the company. That was already taking place before January started. It was like 3 days before or something like that. I can't remember the exact date. But let me tell you something. Those little wins, those are super important. And one thing that I've learned while creating, the House of NIXON brand is that small wins are huge because it's the compound effect. It's the same thing. Like you wake up, make your bed first. That's an automatic win right there. And you'd be surprised how these little things, how they just build up over time. And for me, I had all these goals that were set monthly that had to do with the business, and everything that I did push the business forward. And one thing couldn't be done without the activity that needs to be completed the month prior. So starting this company, writing the book, producing the book, publishing the book, it kept me extremely accountable. And I will always say that it's a good thing that I didn't have all the money up front, because I had to pace myself. I had to set up these small wins. So I had something to look forward to each month. And it was a blessing in disguise for sure. For sure. But yeah, as y'all can see, I'm super excited because we finally got the proof copies. Now, this copy right here, this is just a proof. This is not the retail copy. The retail copy, the cover is actually brighter. So you can actually see the Orson Bridge. You can see the Turning Torso. You can see the dagger, the diary, and you can see the owl a little bit better. So this is just the proof copy, and the copies that go out for promotional uses. That way they can't be resold later on. And so any of my reviewers, these are the books that you're going to get. Of course, if you want the actual retail copy, you can just hit me up, and I'll go ahead and I'll get that shipped out to you. I don't know, like 50% off or something. We'll work out the numbers. But again, this is the proof copy, not the retail copy. Retail copy, it has a brighter book cover. But man, when this came in the mail, I was super excited. I was excited, but it wasn't like overflowing out of me for many reasons. One of them, honestly, is just because getting the proof copies, that was more like, that was more of like me just completing another box on the checklist. Straight up. It was just another milestone that was completed, and then it was on to the next. And so I was going to film an unboxing video, and as I thought about it, I was like, I'm excited, of course, but I'm like, it's not excitement that's pouring out. This was more like, this is excitement that has to do with proof of concept, which has been a big thing that we've been talking about since we started this thing, was proof of concept. And it just signaled to me that we're moving in the right direction. The company's moving in the right direction. The end was finally here. And all that did was just marked the beginning of another chapter. And so that's why, I was excited, but I didn't film it. That wasn't me. And, as I said before, when you write a book, it is a solo journey, man. It takes a lot of dedication to go from idea and concept to getting the final piece. And at a certain point, it does take a team. And so I have my editor, my cover designer, who also did the topography, my interior designer, my sketch artist, and a slew of beta readers who read the book before it was even on its final edit. I had beta readers in two rounds. This was the first one when I was just done writing it, and I did my first pass through the edit, and I sent it off. And that was really just to see if the concept even worked. And I got good praises for that. And then one really did some actual edits, and we received good feedback and positive reviews for it. So it's been a ton of beta readers. I had 6 beta readers, 3 in each round, plus my editor who also did the final edits with me. So shout out to all of them, everyone that's been involved, because like I said, it is a solo journey, but at a certain point you do need a team to take this to the next level to get it to completion. And without them, we wouldn't have make it to the finish line. So big shout outs to y'all. And as I said, we started on the second chapter of what this company, House of NIXON, what it is that we're doing. It is a creative studio. It's not just a small press. So we do have a ton of work lined up for 2026. And I'm not going to say them all because I've learned that don't share your goals and your dreams and your plans with people too early. Don't do it. That's just fact. Because people they will shut you down. They will kill your motivation. So don't do it. It's best to just play it close to the chest. And then once it's all said and done and it's about to come out, then you could go ahead and you could start talking about it. Like the book, only a few people knew I was writing a book. It's like, I don't know, 5 people who knew I was writing a book when I was into it. And after I told them that was it, and then there was like no updates. And then there was like one update here, and then I created the IG page, and then there was another update, and then I left it. And it wasn't until October when we started marketing heavy. And we needed a long runway for the first book because this is the introduction period. Right. So book 1 introduces readers not only to the Everborn universe and to all the characters involved, but it also introduces readers to just me as an artist, as an author, as a creator, a writer, a storyteller. This is also my introduction and what the company is about. So book 1 it's great. And I've had some questions already about just like the process. And I talked to people about the process. And one thing that I find so interesting is that so right now it's January. It's about to be February. This book comes out February 3rd. Do y'all want to know when was the last time I actually read this book? The answer might surprise you. It surprises me all the time. When I think about it, like, it surprises me all the time. But the last time I actually read this book was July. July. That was the last time I read this book. Once I received my done and accepted, that was it. We had the final piece of the book, and I was done. And I'll tell you why. I don't know how other authors feel about this. But for me and my first book, or at least my first completed book, we went through 5 edits. Okay. 5 editing rounds. The first edit was cool. It was like, okay, you wrote the book and then you're reading it back. You're like, oh, this is cool. I wrote the book. The second edit, you put more words into it. And it was cool. I actually enjoyed the second edit because you actually start shaping the book a little bit more. Third edit, it starts getting a little bit technical. Edit 4 and edit 5, I was done. You can only read the same thing over and over and over again before it gets tiring. And again, this isn't like you read it today and then a whole year went by and then you read it again and then a few years went by in between. No, this is 5 edits in a period of 3 months of you just reading the book. And after your first edit, you're no longer reading the book for fun. Now you're doing work. You're doing work, and it gets the words get blended in together at a certain point, and which is why you need other eyes to come on in. The reveals stop being reveals. The twists stop being the twists. You know what happened on page 10. You know what happens on page 25. Like the book, for all intents and purposes, the book becomes boring. The book becomes boring because you already know everything. So, and then it hit me, all right, as I started drafting book 2, it hit me that I will never be able to read this book again for pure enjoyment. Not until the whole series is complete. Once the whole series is complete and I put a couple years in between it, I honestly don't think I could read this book for enjoyment anymore. Because anytime I crack it open, it's going to be for fun. And even when I started working on book 2, and this book came in the mail, I read the first chapter and I was like, all right, yeah, no, I'm done. Because you look at it and it's only going to be for continuity. It's only going to be for continuity purposes. Damn, I suck. I can't even talk. And I'm an author. I'm writing, but it's only going to be for those purposes, just to make sure that timelines and events line up, and I don't say something crazy in the second book that doesn't align with the first book. So, that's the case with that. And then also the architect of the whole series is pretty interesting. I don't think anyone is doing it the way I'm doing it, but you'll just have to read the rest of the series as it comes out. And I'll say this, people are either going to like it, love it, or hate it. And I'll leave it at that. So, but yeah, man, it's just the realization that you would never be able to read your book again from a pure entertainment standpoint is it's a pretty interesting concept. So that's a lot of the reasons why I haven't read this book since July. On top of that, July is when I had to pivot from writer mode to publisher mode. And not only publisher mode, I was creating the website, doing the website design, getting the YouTube set up, the LinkedIn, getting, the domain names, getting the email addresses. So there was a lot of things that were going on, including the cover design, the sketch artist, back and forth. And on top of that, I was going back and forth from different countries. At the time, I was in Albania. And I think I've told the story multiple times across different videos, but long story less long. I got that from my boy Joe Budden. Long story less long. July was the 6th month that I was in Albania. So, and I was leaving, ended up going back to America. So you're talking about Albania to America, then back to Sweden in October. So I was still doing all of that traveling while still producing the book, while I was already writing book two, because there's a plan, a process, a system that's in place. So I had to start writing book two because I know the whole story. And this is, when authors, when they tell you, yeah, I knew the whole series the day I started writing it. And this is what this series is. I knew the beginning, middle, end of the series when I started writing book one. So I had to hurry up and jump into book two, because it's true, you do forget some of the best stuff if you don't write it down. So that's that. But, in this book here, one more thing is that for me and for the brand House of NIXON, this represents so much more than just a book. Right? I came to Sweden November 2024. I was here for 3 months. I started writing the book December 2024. And I remember the day when I decided that I was going to do this full time. It was December 3rd. It was the same day I had a Zoom interview. It was for a Big Four bank in Dallas. And initially I was excited because I was like, all right, cool. I've been waiting for these phone calls. Anyone who knows that I had left Dallas back in, it was July 2023, moved to Florida 2023, and I have been out of work since I left Dallas. And at the time I was with a and I don't want to say any of these banks' names because I don't want to give them any airplay. They don't need my bandwidth. But at the time, I was with a big financial advisor group, and so I had left, moved to Florida. My boy came, and then we drove my truck in the U-Haul, and we drove it from Texas to Florida. And one day, it was a boring ass trip. But so anyway, got to Florida, and then, I was just unemployed since then, but did multiple interviews, did multiple jobs, traveled back and forth, realized that I wanted to go back to Texas, flew to Texas for an interview, nothing doing, met with some people, nothing doing. It was just like the industry was closed to me at that point. And then I ended up hopping on a plane in November, going to Sweden, and then I stayed in Sweden. And then, as you know, with Sweden and the Schengen countries, you have 90 days. So I ended up in Albania because I started writing the book on December 4th. And December 3rd is when I decided that I was not going to go back to America, cancel my ticket, withdrew my application, boom, full-time author, just like that. And then I had to play the 90-day game. So then I ended up going to Albania because I didn't want to come back to America right away. Stayed out there for 6 months, came back to America 6 months after that. So in total was 9 months while I was gone. Went to America for 2 more months, came back to Sweden in October of 2025. And here we are, February 2026, January 2026, about to be February, and never in my life, one, would I think that I would ever be in Sweden. 2, didn't see me spending 2 Christmases, 2 New Years here in Sweden. And now I'm here for the foreseeable future. It was supposed to be Florence, Italy, but life was lifing and things changed. So now I'm here. And honestly, this actually works out a lot better for me, especially for what I'm building, what I'm doing with Denmark, Copenhagen right there, Lund and Lund University right there. So there's things in play that I'm excited about for 2026, right? But as I said, this book means so much because of all the traveling that was done. And when I went to Sweden originally, I didn't go to Sweden with this idea of writing a book. I didn't even have a laptop. And I had my iPad, which was the only thing I had. And I started writing the book on the iPad. And eventually I bought this little small keyboard for the iPad. So I'm typing and then head to Albania and I'm typing. And the keyboard is so small, so my shoulders are like this. And I'm all curled up, back was aching. But once we reached the finish line and we had this product, it was clear as day to me about one thing. And that was, if you want it, you will get it done. And there's no amount of excuses or obstacles. And 2025, my vision was clear. I knew exactly what it is that I was going to do, and I knew the ending. And if you see my bio, it says the end is already written. I'm just living the chapters. And that's not some philosophical quote or anything like that. That's me in real time telling you all that I know the ending because I'm engineering the path to get there. So when I wrote this whole novel on an iPad, after that, I can't accept excuses from anybody about why they can't do what they can't do or why they're not doing what they're doing. And I can't put up with people who delay and people who wait, because the truth is, all that waiting, all that delaying, all that excuses that people come up with, I'll tell you this, it would be easier for your mental state if you just kept it funky and you told the truth to yourself and said that you just don't want to do it. Whatever your goal is, if you're not actively taking the first step towards your goal, no matter how small it is, if it's not a real step towards your goal, just be real with yourself and just say that you really don't want to do it, or that it's not a priority for you right now. And there's no shame in that. There's no shame in just being real with yourself. You'll sleep better at night. Trust me. It's a lot easier to sleep instead of saying one day does not work over here. It doesn't. And I saw something from Mace, and he was talking to Killer Cam, and he told Killer, he said that in life, there's two reasons why something isn't working, basically. And I'm paraphrasing. But he said, one, either you're not supposed to be doing it, whether that be you're with the wrong team, you have the wrong manager, you're working for the wrong company, the vision is all messed up, or timing isn't correct, or you got the wrong people around you. Whatever the case may be, maybe you're not supposed to be doing it, and that's why it's not working. And in my case, trying to go back to the banking industry, they wouldn't let me in anymore. My time there was done. It was over. I was not supposed to be doing it. Then, the other reason why things aren't working for you is because you're not true to the game. That's it. Either you're not supposed to be doing it or you're not true to the game. That removes all the excuses. Because if you're not supposed to be doing it, then you need to find your purpose. And once I found what my purpose was, which was telling stories in multiple different mediums, everything else became clear. Suddenly, obstacles just became, new challenges for me to overcome. And then I was overcoming them quick, finding new ways. All of a sudden, it was like my eyes were open. I would see something and it was like, damn, oh, okay. Well, let me research this. Oh, let me hit up this person. Let me go here. Let me go there. And it just took off and it builds. All of a sudden, it's like, yo, now I can't see anything stopping me because I know my purpose. And when I'm true to the purpose, yeah. They don't understand. They're not getting it. And I don't want to sound crazy on the microphone, right? But that's just how it is. Or you're not true to the game. And a lot of y'all are not true to the game because y'all chasing the wrong thing. If money is the motivator, you already lost. If money is the motivator, you already lost. Time and time again, I've seen so many people, even people that's close to me that I know. You ask them a question about, whatever this case may be, and they just start talking about the money, how much money they can make from it. Usually those people aren't putting in the work behind it. They're not learning. They're not building their craft. They're not taking the time. They want to take these shortcuts. I'm taking the long way because we all know shortcuts draw blood. Let me go and make this clear. Flame boys, we in here. That's a reference. Anyway. So yeah, they're talking about the money. And then I've had people around me who actually talk with conviction and passion about their projects and about what it is that they want to get done. And it goes nowhere. The passion might be there, but it's going nowhere because of point A, because maybe you're not supposed to be doing it. So you could put a lot of effort into something and be true to it and it not work out. It's probably because it's not your lane. Or it doesn't work out because you're not putting in the effort. It's one of the two. Waiting until you get your tax money, not putting in the effort. Waiting until a payday to take one step, not putting the effort. Not doing the research, not putting the effort. Doing too much research, not doing the effort. You're not putting in the effort. Clowning other people who are doing it, but you're not doing it. You haven't taken that first step yet. You're not true to it. You're not putting in the effort. You see, I can't listen to people who have critiques of other people doing something when themselves haven't even taken the first step. I can't listen to people or sympathize or have empathy for someone who said that they don't have the money to do X, Y, and Z. Because you do have the money. You do. You do. It's just that, your money is allocated towards other things. A wise man told me, if you want to see what a man cares about, what his priorities are, all you have to do is follow the money. Look at what he spends his money on. Because here's the truth, especially for men. Oh, damn, my bad. Especially for men. Time, energy, and resources, those are huge for any men. And I'm not speaking for the females right now because I'm not a female, so I don't know the psyche, the mental. But for men, Time, money, and resources, right? Time, energy, and resources, right? You want to know what someone cares about? Look at where he spends his money. I don't have money to start my business just yet, but they're at the club every weekend or they're buying bottles every weekend. No, you got money. You do. But the business, your dream, isn't your priority right now. And that's okay. Like I said, just be real with yourself. You could sleep easier at night if you just be real with yourself and say, hey, I want to start this business, but it's not a priority right now. But these bottles and this club music and these women, that's my priority right now. And that is okay, because at least everyone knows where we stand and no one is bullshitting each other. So I say all of that to say that this book represents a lot more to me than just a book. And I understand a lot of people, they just see a book. But this is proof of concept. This is leverage. This is small press, indie pub could do traditional work. And there's so much more that's coming that's behind it. Time and time and time and time and time and time and time again, I reference the late, great Nipsey Hussle, because he's been telling us from day one about leverage. He's been telling us since day one about ownership. Stop being dependent on other people and build it yourself. Get the market yourself. You invest your own money. You do the hard work up front yourself, and then you can negotiate from a place of leverage. Stop handing off your creative works to these big companies that take everything from you, give you the small advance that you have to pay back before you make a dime. And at least in the publishing world, the majority of authors don't make that money back. So now you're assed out. And just because you get a publishing deal on your first book or on one book does not guarantee that you'll get another publishing deal. Some people are one and done. But different strokes for different folks. I have my own plans in what I'm doing. And it's not anti-traditional publishing, because traditional publishing is still the end goal. But it's not the goal right now. Books aren't the end goal. We're so much further than books. And House of NIXON Creative Studio, we are looking for people who tell stories in whatever medium that may be. If you are an artist, if you are a painter, a sculptor, I don't care if you freaking knit. If you are a dancer, you write poetry, whatever it is, you play instruments, you a photographer, hit me up. Hit me up. Hit me up, and we could get you on this House of NIXON journey of what we're doing, what we're building. It is a creative hub, so and I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that, man. But 2026, like I said, it's going to be a great year. It's going to be a great year. There's so many things that are happening, and I'm excited for it. We're taking it day by day, month by month, moving and grooving, and then next thing you know, it's 2027. But I know that sounds crazy to y'all that I'm already in 2027, but when you have damn near every single month planned out so meticulously when it comes to like just a business piece, the end is written. I'm just living the chapters, baby. That's it. I'm just living the chapters. So a few more things before we close out. A few more things. The series Talking Everborn inside the universe. That is an ongoing series. And honestly, that series is more important to me than this House of Nixon web series. I've completed what I wanted to complete in those first 3 episodes, which is just talking about the company, about who I am, and all that good stuff. It was just really an introduction. But the Talking Everborn series, that is an ongoing book club. And my goal is to have people join in on the discussions. You could go on my YouTube page, or you could go on my IG page and read the book, and let's discuss. Let's talk about it. I'm answering questions, comments, concerns. I'm taking feedback. I'm letting, readers talk amongst themselves about it. This is a book club, an open book club, and you all are invited. And let's get into it, because the one thing about my series is that it's not meant for passive reading. It's not, complicated, like you're going to have to sit there and, do some research and all this other craziness, but it's not meant for passive reading. You do have to be engaged. You will be engaged. The book length right now is written at a certain length on purpose, because it is book 1. It is the introduction, and we want people to be active into this. Like, I think that y'all are truly going to enjoy this book and the architect behind it. So join the book club. Follow me on Goodreads at the author Nixon. Follow me on IG at the author Nixon. Wattpad at the author Nixon. What's the other one? YouTube at House of Nixon on YouTube. That is our main page with all the long form content where this video is played. Go to the website houseofnixon.com and stay up to date with everything that's going on there. The choices we make, a short story collection. We have another short story coming to y'all shortly. We have what is it? The choices we make, a short story collection. We have another short story coming to y'all shortly. And all those are always for free for the short story collection. So, and of course, the Everborn Chronicles, book 1, The Everborn, is available for pre-sale on damn near every single major outlet. Sweden, it's not available on Amazon Sweden, but that's okay, because you could go to Boker. You could go to Akademi Handala, Akademi Bokhandala. You could go there. And the book is available everywhere. And if you do a Google search of just the Everborn Chronicles, I'll pop up. Or the author Nixon, I'll pop up. So go ahead, do your Googles, get the book, join the book club. And let's just do this thing, man. Let's just do this. Y'all are going to enjoy this year, and I look forward to connecting with the rest of y'all. If y'all have anything else y'all want to add or say, hit me up. Hit me up for sure. And let's make this a positive one, I guess. I don't know. We're done. We're just rambling. We're done. Skål.